Hey, and welcome back to Show About Shows. I'm Dutch McAllister, episode 15. What a wonderful age to be. And of course, that will be changed probably during the making of any titles. We have a great show for you tonight. Let me just introduce the man who just broke my eardrum. First, let's go with the aviator over here, Ryan B. Dizzle Barton.
Yeah. Oh my God, take it off.
Yeah. And the dude that sits directly across from me, making me happy all the time, it seems.
Yes, I'm happy. Clap along. I don't know if we own the rights to that
No,
song.
we don't.
Hey guys, JPO Jordan Pierce Owen saying thank you for joining us once again on a show about some shows.
And on the show, we have movie reviews about Ma. The dead, the dead don't die.
These dead won't die.
But Professor and the Madman.
Ma, why is this professor such a madman?
The man who killed Hitler and the Bigfoot.
Ma, can we get a madman to kill Hitler and Bigfoot, please?
And we have Changeland. Yeah,
I'm done with my Ma jokes.
Nothing there. And we also revisit Pets 2 and Always Be My Maybe. Mr. Owens has finally caught up to me. And we're going to go over Deja Vu.
Deja Vu.
We've taken forever to talk about this album. It's been in my circulation for months now. Lizzo's Cause I Love You. We're going to go over the top five, the hardest top five we all had to put together of Cameron Diaz films, and a lot of other news and valuable information. So stay put and listen.
Don't touch that dial, kids.
Absolutely.
Stay with the show about shows.
Absolutely. So,
ow! All this show needs is a little more cowbell.
Mr. Walken, you had the chance to watch Ma today, and it's basically a lonely.
I see you holding that popper. Don't do it while I'm trying to talk.
I'm not. I'm just holding it. A lonely middle-aged woman basically gets needy, it seems, and invites teenagers to go party in the basement. But she has a couple rules: don't go upstairs, don't drink, and don't curse, or something like that. And this movie stars Octavia Spencer, Diane Silver, Luke Evans, Juliette Lewis, Allison Janney, Macaulay Miller, and Gianni Palio, Palalo or drink. Go for it. Tell me how it was, man. Tell me how it was.
So this is a movie for some reason that you weren't that interested in. I always was from the trailers. Although speaking of the trailers, try not to watch it if you plan on seeing this movie because literally not even the last half an hour. Probably there's a big chunk of the last 15 minutes that are in that trailer. So that's unfortunate because that's really where this thing ramps up because it very much is ramping up that major conclusion of maybe Ma is not totally stable. But you just see some of her background of the movie throughout. You see that maybe there's a reason she targeted these specific kids. You can see that maybe there's something, what's going on upstairs? Why can't they go upstairs? And Octavia Spencer does do the best here. Definitely a kind of performance that I had some fun with it. I mean, it at least held me to the very end because I wanted to see kind of where it was going. And it's because of Octavia Spencer. If a different actress had this thing, it would have very much maybe just fallen direct to video and VOD and been forgotten about. And still may be forgotten about. I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. Like I said, nothing super special here. A little slow getting there, but it held me to a degree, and it kind of was what I figured it would be.
So you're telling me that I could just watch the previews and be satisfied with that?
Kind of. I mean, it definitely is a highlight reel of the best stuff going on. Like I said, including you can see what she does. She does some horrific things towards the end, and you see several horrific things in the trailer, and including maybe I don't even want to spoil it. Like
Spoiler alert!
If you haven't seen the trailer, don't. And like I said, try to go into this thing as blindly as you can. Luckily, I hadn't seen the trailer in a while, so I forgot a little bit of what was going to happen.
So okay, I'm going to say I've seen the trailer once. I'm going to try to rate this as well.
What?
Based on trailer activity? You said I didn't have to watch it. I'm going to give it maybe 1.5, but it's not official. But it's 1.5 star snowflakes for that. I'm just saying that. So
Allison Janney also not in it very much. So I was surprised she was even in this thing.
I just picked the names that were on the billboard.
Oh, no, you did have Juliette Lewis. I like Juliette Lewis.
Yeah, was she big in that movie or?
Yeah, she's the main girl's mother.
Oh, okay. So she's Diana Silver's mom.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. See, I know a little bit of stuff that goes on in the world. So, the movie that I watched last night. I watched this last night. It comes out this weekend. You got upset with me.
Well, just because I thought you were going to wait for me, but you're not a very good friend, so it's fine.
No.
So you checked out The Dead Don't Die, written and directed by Jim Jarmusch. In the sleepy small town of Centerville, something is not quite right. The moon hangs large and low in the sky. The hours of daylight are becoming unpredictable, and animals are beginning to exhibit unusual behaviors. I didn't know this was part of it.
Yeah.
News reports are scary, and scientists are concerned, but no one foresees the strangest and most dangerous repercussion that will soon start plaguing Centerville. The dead rise from their graves and feast on the living, and the citizens must battle to survive. Starring
yeah, there's a list.
Bill Murray, Adam Driver, Chloe Sevigny, Tilda Swinton, Selena Gomez, Tom Waits. You put Tim, Steve Buscemi, Danny Glover, Rizzo, Rosie Perez, Iggy Pop, Carol Kane, and you literally put the list goes on.
Yes, there's so many people in this film that you'll know.
So tell me about Jim Jarmusch's The Dead Don't Die.
I loved it. I was telling you, I was the only 12 people in the theater. 2 of us laughed.
Did you count?
Yes.
Or could there be 10 or 13?
Actually, I did count. I think 2 people actually snuck in, so that was part of the head count. Because I looked at the tickets that were sold. You know how you can always do that nowadays to see what the is going to look like. Well, two minors that looked like snuck in for some reason to watch this movie. But it was to me a funny. I don't know if there was a script. I know there was an outline somewhere, but it was just completely and utterly hilarious for me. It's not up there on the top, comedies that we've talked about earlier this year with Long Shot and Booksmart, but it's right up in that little discussion. There's so many lines that I've already memorized from this film, and that's something, to tell you that you can already take numerous scenes and go through it. Bill Murray plays Bill Murray to a point. He plays like he's the town sheriff. Adam Driver is the deputy. Chloe Sevigny, right, or Sevigny, or whatever. 70. She plays another deputy. Tilda Swinton plays the mortician. So basically, that's the cast in a nutshell. But then you have all those other peripheral people. Steve Buscemi throws in his 2 bits. Danny Glover throws his 2 bits in. There's a scene where it's in the diner after they discover 2 bodies. I'm not going to ruin that part. To me, it was just the way it was all handled and delivered made me laugh.
Is that the Adam Driver zombies? Ghouls.
Well, that is a part of that scene, but it's at the end of that scene because he wants to really know what he thinks, and that's how he comes up with that. And you'll see that in the preview. But I tell you, it made me laugh. Like I said, I could recite numerous things that were said in this film, and that's to me a good sign of a film. And you're going to say, Jim, what are you doing here? Your ratings don't match.
Jim, what are you doing here? Because your ratings don't match. There you go.
But it's almost a 4. But I gave it 3.5 snowflakes because it was lacking in some spots. Tom Waits.
For the record, I wasn't going to say that actually matched your review. Yeah. I thought so. Don't put words in my mouth.
Tom Waits.
Tim Waits.
Tim on my notes, but Tom in real life. His character is our hermit, Hermit Bob, and it's the rapport between him and Bill Murray in the beginning, hilarious. And I'll give you one quote from the film. Aren't we going to tell Farmer? I can't remember Steve Buscemi's farmer's name, but are we going to tell Farmer Dale or whatever? And he goes, no. And he goes, why not? Because he's an asshole. And so everyone else is being warned that there are zombies in the area, but no, not this guy. It's Steve Buscemi's character, and you'll find out why when you watch it. So 3.5 snowflakes.
That's good to know, man. I'll definitely see it at some point. For this cast, there's no way I'm not going to see it at some point in my life. I do have a love-hate relationship with Jim Jarmusch. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Some of his films I really cannot get into.
Broken
Flowers
but we'll see. Was good. Broken Flowers.
I am someone that thought that thing was dreadful.
Really?
I was so bored out of my mind. I did not care about Bill Murray in that movie.
I did.
I didn't like it at all. But I know you're definitely not alone. It definitely has its fans. But yeah, some of his movies I just cannot get into. And that's not Bill Murray from Dead Don't Die, but it's Bill Murray from Zombieland.
Yeah. But, and again, rumors are he's going to make a cameo in the sequel. We don't know yet.
Oh, he's dead.
It doesn't matter. He's a zombie. Get over that. Anywho, Now, Aviator, we have a movie.
Grab that microphone, Aviator.
This is your turn to shine. Tell us how these movies run, because you watched The Professor and the Madman is based on the 1998 book, The Surgeon of Crawthorne. It is basically about Professor James Murray portrays the beginnings in compiling the words of the very first Oxford Dictionary back in the mid 19th century. I mean. And he gets a letter with over 10,000 entries by a crazy lunatic patient who's killed people, who's played by Sean Penn, and the professor is played by Mel Gibson. So tell me about this movie. What's going on with it?
I enjoyed it. I didn't know that whole setup. It was just something that I had found as I was scrolling through. But then I started to watch it. Then I went back and I started doing some research. Then I realized it was based on a true story. So I continued watching it the second time or the first time through it, and then I went back and watched it a whole, to take it all in again because I enjoyed it that much.
Oh, okay. So there was
loved it.
was there any cohesion issues? Because that's one of the main complaints, even from the director and Mel Gibson, about this movie. They were saying there was like 15 or 16 pages that weren't shot that were more critical to the plot. But it flowed pretty well.
I thought it flowed great. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought Sean Penn did an amazing job. I liked it, but I like stuff like that, and how they put that together. Yeah. And then, how this, he initially thought that it was one of the doctors. Well, when they said doctor from a hospital, he didn't realize when he was going there he was going to see somebody locked up in chains.
Yeah, because he killed his wife or something like that. He personally, when I went back, I went on and reviewed I did some research on that doctor, whatever. I think he had syphilis or something, some venereal disease from way back, and he was out of his skull. Personally, that's my take on it. Who knows what it actually was? But he did. He chased somebody down, and then he attempted to make restitution with his army salary. He gave it to her, and she ended up championing him and taking the money from him and tried to get him back to America and get him out of trouble for the rest of her life. And she took that money and they ended up having a relationship with that doctor who ended up killing her husband. So so how many snowflakes you want to give this one to us?
I'll give it 4.
You give it 4.
I'll give it 4.
Amazing. 4 snowflakes.
Yeah, 3.5, 4. 4. Let me give it 4 because.
What did you watch it on?
I watched it on this computer right here.
No, like
it's on VOD.
Oh, I
know.
watched it on
Voodoo, Google.
I bought it.
On what?
On iTunes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can buy it on most of your major forums, or rental.
That's where I found
Dizzle,
it.
you got one more to talk about. We want to hear about the man who killed Hitler and the Bigfoot. Decades after ending World War II by assassinating Adolf Hitler in an undercover operation, unsung American hero Calvin Barr is called upon by the government to hunt down the fabled Bigfoot, the carrier of a deadly plague that could destroy humanity. Starring Sam Elliott, Aidan Turner, and Ron Livingston.
Now, I watched this when I was in Asia, and
Cut to yourself.
Well, yeah, it was good. I watched it. I had a good time.
We want to see your beautiful face.
Yeah, I had a good time with it. It was interesting. It kept me involved. I like Sam Elliott. It was neat. It was interesting how they went after that. And the ending is, it's
there's a lot of revisionist history.
When they get involved in Bigfoot and stuff. I don't want to give it away or whatever, but it's pretty neat. It's a twist. It's its own little thing or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I enjoyed it. It's a simple, I'll give it. It wasn't not once you get into you're watching it. It keeps you involved there. So I give it a 3.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it wasn't something that I had trouble watching or anything. I'm watching the Errol Flynn movie also. Now this one, let me know. Who's
in that one? I'm not familiar with that. Is it just recent? Is it a recent film?
Yeah, it's a recent one or whatever. Okay. But that one I'm having a little bit of trouble. But I let me get through it and I'll give you a better review on that one.
Oh, okay.
I also watched Marty, 1955, Ernest Borgnine. I don't know. That was it's interesting. It's cool.
Academy Award. So
Academy, it's very simple. God, we've come a long way. Holy mackerel!
I know. Nowadays, you compare those to these films today, and you're like, well, it was just regular acting compared to what these kids have to go through today to get an award. But I thought his performance in that film was great. So
Yeah,
it's a well worth watching. If you've never watched Marty or any film of that era, watch them. I mean, they're
It
there
is.
for a reason,
It
and you
is.
learn a lot of your cinematic history from those.
You do. You nailed it. You learn a lot from that and the history and it's neat because that's you learn a lot from the times about that.
Yeah.
You know?
And a lot of people will try to figure out what are they talking through. They'll look at it and say, "Is that a phone? What is that? What's that thing on the wall?" They'll get confused. All these young kids out there,
Right.
they won't know what's going on. That's what
It's weird, yeah, to even see them using a rotary dial and and then how like when they're gonna meet somebody at 2:30, they're waiting on that call, meeting somebody at 2:30.
Yeah,
I mean, you were big time standing somebody up if you didn't make that call at 2:30.
Yeah, because if you weren't there, then hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
You'll never hear the end.
But
So
Disney, I enjoyed that. Was 20 years before I was born, so it was interesting to see how the times were 20 years before I was born.
that might be an interesting little thing we could do in the future. A gimmick of 30 years before you were born, 20 years before you were
Yes.
born. That we should do that.
That we
can
should
think
do
about
that. 20 years before Jimmy was born. The next
yeah,
time.
Yeah, that'll be in the 56 then.
56.
So, Jordan, we're bringing it back around to you because you're going to kick this one off. We both watched this film. Aviator, if you get a chance, watch it. It's fabulous. It's called...
Will do.
It's
Spoilers for the review.
well, you can't help it. It's I use the word fabulous a lot. I don't know why, but
Amazing.
amazing, fabulous, unbelievable. Changeland. Basically, while a troubled man goes through a personal crisis, he meets up with his estranged friend in Thailand. This is starring Seth Green, Breckin Meyer, Where Have You Been, Son? Brenda Song, Macaulay Culkin, Randy Orton, Claire Grant, Rose Williams, and Keter Williams Sterling.
I've been looking
I
forward to
just
this.
named the whole cast.
Yeah, pretty much. It's also got a really fun voice cast as well.
Like Rose Williams, right? Or something like
No,
that?
Rose Williams is the.
Oh, she's the
girlfriend
British.
of Kedar.
Oh, yeah.
And then, what is it? The girl from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is his Seth Green's girlfriend / wife.
The Voice, yes.
The Voice.
Yes.
His dad is Rob Paulson, who does a
Yes.
bunch of voice work, and then his mom's Andrea Romano. So I just want to mention that too. Fun voice work. Wait, you mentioned a great eclectic caster. That's what I've always been excited about this movie is that Seth Green, Breckin Meyer, Brenda Song, who I've liked for a long time too, Randy Orton, Macaulay Culkin. I'm in. And Seth Green, this is a passion piece of his. Basically, several years ago, him and a buddy, went on vacation together in Thailand, and he just saw that like this is the place where a movie should take place in. And it's a smaller film. I did kind of thought I was gonna maybe laugh more than I did, but it's a really nice, tight film. As Seth Green has kind of put it, it's more along the lines of a Sideways or like a more just kind of. Just homegrown a piece about these characters. Seth Green trying to kind of find himself and his relationship and also just himself in general. And as you said, Breckin Meyer, who several years ago was in front of the camera all the time. I mean, these two, of course, from Can't Hardly Wait and Rat Race together. They also produced Robot Chicken. So it's great seeing him back in front of the camera. He's really good in this. The little that the 13-time world champion Randy Orton has to do, he's fantastic in this. Macaulay Culkin's great. Rumors of him being the Joker maybe in Matt Reeves' new film. I can see it.
I can see it now.
I can see it.
I can see it. And I'm not going to
So-
fight. I'm not going to fight any of this. I'm
let's,
open.
we'll see. Robert Pattinson, Macaulay Culkin. Let's just blow up the internet with this casting. But I dug this, man. I've been looking for this for a while. Seth Green on the ID10T podcast with Chris Hardwick. He was on Conan O'Brien recently. He's going everywhere plugging this film, and I picked it up pretty much as soon as I can because I've been looking forward to it, and I did dig it. So I didn't think it was fantastic or groundbreaking, but I did like it. I'm going to give it 3.5.
Well, I'm gonna mirror you almost with that. But you know what though? I'll be honest. The tone of the film got me as my personal back stuff. But the tone of the film kind of grabbed me from his perspective. I understood his perspective at that time because I needed to do some soul searching as well.
Seth Green spoke to you.
Yeah. So that movie did speak to me a little bit more. As for the chemistry amongst everyone, it just works, and because they're all friends off camera. So it's just basically, hey guys, you want to make a movie, and we'll have fun at the same time in a beautiful place called Thailand, and that's what it is, and. It's a great passion project, great directorial, feat by Seth Green as well. I'm gonna give it 4. because to me, like I said, it spoke to me about things that I went through personally, and it kind of reflected some of that mirror in my face, and I was like, oh, I've been there, buddy. I understand. So, technically, 4 snowflakes.
All right, 3.5 and 4 snowflakes for Change That from me and the Dutchster. Some good stuff there.
We're now going to revisit some stuff and maybe add a couple other things. I'm not sure, but we're revisiting 2 things. You'll Always Be My Maybe, and we'll also revisit Pets 2 because you got around to getting both of those.
I don't think Yo's in the title.
Yeah, this is You'll Always Be My Baby. Well, not baby, but maybe. You'll Always Be My Maybe. But yeah, watch it. So you watched it. So tell me how you thought about it. What'd you think?
All right, so You'll Always Be My Baby. I liked it. It's very cute. You got Ali Wong, a stand-up comedian, and why am I blanking on his
Randall
name?
Park?
Randall Park, thank you. I was going to say Russell Brand.
Wow,
Like,
can you believe
that's
this?
not
I
right.
actually remember names, my friends.
I'm pretty sure last week too. I said who it was.
Yeah.
But there's some good chemistry there. They also wrote it together too, which I thought was really
Well,
cool.
I didn't know that, so I
Seeing
didn't
in
read
the
that
credits.
part.
Well, yeah, look at the credits, which I thought was really cool too that they had a hand in that. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the relationship with the father, James Saito.
Yes.
He's pretty fun when he pops up in this film. Michelle Buteau as the friend. I forgot to look up who played the current girlfriend of Randall, but she's got some funny moments as well.
I can't come with that.
But the scene stealer for me has got to be Keanu Reeves.
Thank
I see
God.
what you were saying. I didn't quite piece together what you were saying.
Yes.
He's basically playing a crazy version of himself.
I love
kind of like you said, like a Neil Patrick Harris, or so you've seen that several times throughout the years. But Keanu Reeves, he eats that scenery. You can tell he this is probably a script he got and was like, oh, what? I'm a co-star as myself. But then he probably read it and went, oh, I can have fun with this.
Yeah.
So he's absolutely fun in this. I thought he was the best part.
Was it a $6,500 dinner?
Yeah. Oh, and that's actually a pretty funny scene. Yeah, they're just getting all this meal and just it's the parcels of
It's like a bacon bit and some foam. There's your main course.
Yeah, and he yells like, "Can I get some foam to go?" or whatever at the very end.
It's crazy.
That's maybe the best scene in it, and also to enjoy the stick around for the post-credit song.
Yes.
It's also funny
Yes.
as well too, and he has a couple funny songs throughout the film itself. He plays kind of a budding musician. So like I said, it's not groundbreaking. Again, kind of like Change That in a way. I didn't feel like I laughed that much. I kind of ho-hummed my way through it, but I did enjoy it. There's some good chemistry there. I think it is worth watching. It's on Netflix, so pull up whenever you can. I'm gonna give that one a 2.5.
That's exactly what I gave it as well. But I want to talk about
same
I do
page.
want to talk about one thing about this movie, the Keanu Reeves part. I loved it. I didn't know if you caught it, where basically when they had to get the Uber. And they go, well, he didn't know it was like a ride share. No, it was passive aggressive Keanu. And I thought
No, he purposely gave us the shittiest Uber
He gave
Uber
us the
pool.
he gave us Uber pool. He's a passive aggressive Keanu, and I love that scene. I mean, it's just great, and it made me laugh. But yeah, it's a 2.5, but there's some great moments, and I think Keanu made that half a snowflake show up. I think under it just because Keanu has the power. He has the power.
Probably had the most fun I had with that. I also did finally check out because you get to see it early, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw it like 3 weeks
I saw like
early.
a normal person, Secret Life of Pets 2 coming at you. Just a really fun cartoon. I thought the first one was actually slightly underrated, depending on who you talk to, because I just think these things are just super colorful and fun. You get Patton Oswalt and from Modern Family, Eric Stone Street, are these 2 dogs who just absolutely love their owner. Now they kind of got a new cog in the wheel because their owner now has a husband and they're getting a kid. And but then you also pop in, Harrison Ford and Hannibal Buress, Jenny Slate's really great in this. Just a great cast. Dana Carvey, Bobby Moynihan. I could keep going. This is another huge cast here, and it's fun. It's cute. The very last scene, no spoilers, leaves you go no, which I enjoyed as well. My little niece loved it. So I think it's just a great colorful, keeps you entertained cartoon. What did I even give it? I'm just gonna go ahead and it's on that 3.54 scale. I'm just go ahead. Let's give it a 4.
There you go. You gave it.
I was gonna say 3.5. I think I wrote down 3.5. I'm gonna give it a 4.
I was a 4. So
yeah,
we both were on the same side on this film. Actually, the last 2. So that's fabulous. Fabulous again. Thank you. Drink now. Drink. That's a new drinking game. Other than my name is messing up. I say the word fabulous. You drink as well.
And we'll talk a little bit more about this film later on when we talk about the box office, and we'll see where this and X-Men rank. If you don't know, stay tuned. One more film I do want to talk about real quickly that I checked out on demand is a film that I'm surprised didn't get a little more talk about when it came Oscar time, which is Destroyer with Nicole Kidman, Sebastian Stan, Tatiana Maslany, Bradley Whitford, Toby Kebbell, and some more. And that's just off the top of the dome, baby. Off the top of the dome. Basically, it jumps back and forth a little bit in time. I don't feel that it was completely necessary because at first it was jarring, and later on it was just kind of obvious. It was like, all right, I get where you're going. Let's get to it now. So, but great performance by Nicole Kidman here. As some people say, unrecognizable, a.k.a. she uglies herself up a little bit. Kind of like Charlize Theron in Monster. Yeah. That's what they mean by unrecognizable. Unrecognizable always means they make a pretty person fat or ugly. Yeah, that's what unrecognizable means.
Yeah, unrecognizable is you never see the opposite happen. An ugly man look pretty. You never see that, or an ugly girl be
oh
pretty.
My God, Jorno was like Brad Pitt. Yeah, there's a great comparison of Nicole Kidman. I don't know if you can see it, Dutch. Her completely made up to her. She's undercover, and basically, let's just say some things don't go right, and it's a bit of a revenge tale as well. And she's gung ho on finding. Putting some peace to what has gone wrong in her life. Scott McNair is also in it as her ex-husband. Good character piece, like I said, definitely worthy of an Oscar nomination, although that would have happened this year, so it's not going to happen. But another movie that I'm going to give 4 snowflakes to.
Okay, good to hear. Woo! Now, this is your favorite subject, people. The favorite subject, the favorite segment.
It's not my favorite subject. I just like saying deja vu.
Yes, you guys.
Heck yeah. Party on.
So
excellent.
Beautiful. Fabulous.
Where's your air guitar, guys? Come on.
Already.
I know, but you guys have to do it at the same time. Okay, we're not going to half-ass it, are we? But
this is a 1, 2, 3. There we go.
Okay. Settle down, gentlemen. This he's so excited, he just popped off. Deja vu. We actually are going over June 1999.
June 99.
So
start this off.
Yeah. I'll let you start. See, I'm a little okay with my thing.
We're picking a movie for each other.
We're picking a movie for all of us to watch, and if you have time, rewatch it so you can refresh yourself if you like it as much as you did before.
June 1999.
June 1999.
June 99.
Oh shoot.
Okay.
What did you do?
What you do?
I just did 1999.
Oh no! 1999 had a lot of great films.
Hey, Dizzle, you should watch the
I
show.
was getting ready to pull out my Rushmore.
I do have.
Dizzle, you should watch a show about shows on YouTube because it's not the first time we've done this.
It's his favorite segment yet, but that's all right. So
That's not how it works.
I'm gonna take care of this, okay?
You can go. You go first.
I'm gonna go first here. Mine
Don't say Wild Wild West.
is a very underrated film. It
I was gonna say Wild Wild West.
No, it's not that. Trust me, because like wicka wow wow ooh oh whatever the straight to the Wild Wild West. That song. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Unfortunately for YouTubers, but no, the film that I think is the most underrated is a Disney classic, I guess you could call it now, because it's over 20 years, it seems. Tarzan.
Oh.
Tarzan. It's a animated film, not computer animated, actually still drawn. Didn't get well received, really. We made some money, but not a lot. It's not at the top. I enjoyed it when I watched it. So it has Phil Collins on the soundtrack.
Oh, now I'm in.
If you were on the bubble, I just brought you over. So yes, watch Tarzan. There's a basic telling.
I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen it.
What?
For whatever reason, it came out. I'm 9 at this point, so there's singing in it though, isn't there?
There's always singing in a Disney.
So
film.
I'm not sure Emperor's New Groove.
I think Rosie O'Donnell plays a gorilla, if I'm not mistaken.
And you know what? Screw Phil Collins, Rosie O'Donnell. Now I'm in.
Selling points all over the place.
So all right, you got Tarzan. I'm gonna give you one that is one of my favorites since I was a kid. I owned it on VHS, then on DVD, and I might have it on VOD, and I don't have any SCDs. So I'm going to give you Big Daddy. I love me some Adam Sandler from the 90s. I mean, talk about a man that ruled the 90s. There you see it, my friends. Big Daddy right in the center there. I mean, Waterboy, Wedding Singer, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, and Big Daddy. Those are the five-fecta octagon of 1999. I'm sorry, of the 90s, rather.
Yeah, the 90s.
So,
if he
I
came
love
out with
me
all that 99, he just peaked. He's
some
done.
Big Daddy. And there's you see Tarzan. Oh, there's her 2 films back-to-back, actually.
Yeah,
there's the deja vu so far. And so, Dizzle, you've been given some time here. You realize that we do the month and the year like we have been for 15 episodes. So what is your pick?
No.
God, no. Is that what it is?
The Buena Vista Social Club.
What the hell is that?
I believe that's an ancient Chinese ritual, is it? I don't know how this works. Is it like Asian film or something, if I'm not mistaken? I think it.
We're gonna
Gun to
figure
head.
it
I don't
out.
know. Oh, you don't even know what it is?
No,
He's never seen it, so he's
Oh,
gonna have to
Dizzle,
watch
you're
it.
fired.
It
Dizzle,
looks
you're gonna
great
have to-
though.
but you're gonna have to watch it as well.
We're all gonna watch
You're
it.
all gonna have
What
to
is it?
We're all gonna watch it,
I'm
and we're
gonna
gonna
pull it up.
figure it out.
So let's see. It's not a romantic comedy, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So Buena Vista.
So that's what it is.
Social.
Let me write down these real fast.
Oh, that's not it. Hold on a second.
Well, Dutch Googles Buena Vista Social Club. I slink in my chair and start to fall asleep.
By the way, Buena
Dizzle's
Vista
gonna
Social
write down the
Club
list.
is an
Let's
actual
hear.
documentary.
I'm not watching it.
It's an aging Cuban musician whose talents have been virtually forgotten following Castro's takeover of Cuba are brought out of retirement by Ry Cooder, who travels to Havana in order to bring the musician's music back
Is
to
that
life.
gonna gonna make you mental? A documentary?
If it's a good one, I'll watch it. Yeah, no, I've heard about this movie. The title's not ancient to me, or not ancient, but unknown to me. So we'll see.
Well,
Good reviews.
I didn't even want to go
Oh,
there.
okay.
I don't want to cloudy the waters. But yeah, the Buena Vista Social Club. I think the reason why you understand what the Buena Vista. Remember that used to be the Buena Vista used to be the distribution of the Disney films back in the day. Buena Vista.
Isn't that also where
Videos.
someone lives in Seinfeld?
I think that was Boca Vista.
Maybe. Okay, sorry. Boca Vista. Yeah, maybe.
So the Buena Vista Social Club. Okay, so there you have it. I chose
It's a deja vu.
Deja Vu. I chose Tarzan.
Tarzan.
Jordan did the Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
And then Ryan, well, you just had to just bring us into a documentary called the Buena Vista Social Club.
Buena Vista Social Club.
IMDb.
Not bad. 7.6 is pretty good. Up next, I know Dutch, you're very excited to give us a review of Lizzo's "Cause I Love You." Let's hear it, Dutch. You've been wanting to do this for a while.
I've been wanting to do this, and somehow we just never had time.
Lizzie McGuire is now known as Lizzo.
No. Lizzo is
Oops.
is a rapper artist from
Dizzle.
from
Cut to Jim.
from the Houston area. She was born in Detroit, came through Houston, learned to rap battle. She's also she's also a talented flautist as well. Later on, worked with Prince. And he took her under the wing and helped her career out. There's the actual cover of the album. There she is, big is beautiful, and it is. When it comes to her, she is a very beautiful woman. The album even starts out just grabbing hold of you and makes you just like, wow, where are her vocals coming from? Because her vocals are unbelievable, and that is the actual title, "Cause I Love You," and it's just she's crying because she loves you. She's never felt this way before about anybody. She thought she was emotionally mute, so now she is doing what she's doing. This album, as you might know, some of the songs. Juice is one of the bigger popular songs on this album as well. The way it comes across is that women are beautiful no matter what shape, no matter what size, no matter what you look like. You're worth something, and I think more women need to take these type of things, because it's true. No matter what whatever some social world believes, there's somebody out there who's going to love you for you. And no matter what size you are, like I said, no matter how old you are, as long as you're of age, that's what you should do, and embrace yourself. and that's what this album goes through. And I find every song on this album just meaningful in any other way. Exactly how I feel with features Gucci Mane. Tempo is with Missy Elliott, and if you get the deluxe version of the album, you can get it on Spotify, you can get it on Google Play, you can get it on YouTube. It also has Boys, one of her earlier songs, Truth Hurts, and Water Me. And again, like I said, there is not a bad song on this album. I wish there was an LP that I can grab hold of. Just to have it on a turntable too,
You play your turntables a lot?
I broke mine, so I got to get a new one. But I have. Sometimes I just put on like the Abbey Road album and just let it play. Or
What do you mean you broke it? You broke the needle?
No, I broke the arm completely off. Yeah. I was moving it and I dropped and just hell broke loose. But but at the end of the day though, Cause I Love You, does by Lizzo, I'm going to give this a 5. And it's a heavy rotation. It's heavy rotation on my playlists. It really is. And this year so far, the albums that I've really ranked the highest are all done by women. And I don't know what it is, but it is showing you that the women cannot be denied in music this year.
If you had to choose this and Billie Eilish, who do you choose?
That is a tough one. I don't know yet.
Head, Desert Island.
You know what? It all depends on your mood. If you want to be picked up and lifted up off your feet and you just want to jam and have a good time, Lizzo's album's for you. If you want to listen to Billie Eilish and go through whatever the songs that are there, go for that too. I mean, that is
so answer the question, Jim.
I just answered that question. Whatever mood you're
in.
What
mood are you in right now?
If I had to choose right now, I listened to Billie Eilish earlier this morning. This evening, I actually did listen to "Cause I Love You." So yes, "Cause I Love You" is a good pick me up album if you want to just jam in the car on the way home. Plop it on, but you're gonna be sky lifted. Trust me.
So your answer is Lizzo.
Lizzo, right now, yes.
Okay.
And I'm, there's more albums coming out. I can't wait. I'm listening to a few right now, but we'll see. We'll see what we're gonna go over next time. So, without further ado, the top 5 hardest films to ever rate is coming up. Aviator, I'm going to ask you, because top 5 Cameron Diaz films. What is your number 5?
My number 5 would be my worst one, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, the one that barely made the top 5.
The one that barely made the top 5.
There's not that many good ones.
Let's go with Gangs of New York at number 5.
Interesting.
Gangs of New York, number 5.
Yes.
Let's do a round table with me next.
Yeah. That's next number 5 for you.
As always, I'm going to cheat and do my honorable mentions.
Damn you and your honorable mentions.
5. So my 10 through 6 is The Mask, Charlie's Angels, Holiday, Sweetest Thing, Vanilla Sky, and my number 5 is Very Bad Things. She's a co-star in this. Is an ensemble cast. You mentioned before John Favreau, yes?
Yeah.
Daniel Stern, and Leland Orser, Jeremy Piven, Christian Slater, and some more. Basically, it's a movie where just things start off bad. It's a bachelor party.
Gone wrong.
And then, it goes very wrong. And then things just get very wronger. I know wronger's not a word, but it gets very wronger throughout this film. And I'll be honest, when I first saw this movie, I think maybe because I was kind of younger, I didn't like it because it is a downer of a movie. Like,
Am I like the only one who ever watched it the first time and laughed most of the time? I mean,
probably because you're a cynical son of a bitch.
There's some dark stuff, but
it's dark.
It's uncomfortable laughter as well, but it's also laughter because some of the things that happen in that one do make me laugh.
You definitely have to go with the right mind frame, and I think later on in this movie I've appreciated it more. Like, I also want to give a shout out to the director. I'm blanking on his name, but he's an actor / director, and he also has made things like Hancock and The Kingdom. And I just want to give him credit because he's a very eclectic director. That's something that I enjoy. That he's done superheroes and wars and dramatic. And yeah, I just want to give him a shout out.
I also like to give a shout out to him. How dare you bring us Hancock, you son of a bitch? How dare you?
Peter Berg, baby. Thank
Peter
you, Peter
Berg,
Berg.
how
yeah.
dare you
He's
bring
been
me
on movies and
Hancock.
TV shows. He was in Smoking Aces. He was in Ballers on with The Rock as well. And he's directed many things. Yeah, I just like that he's a very Friday Night Lights. He's done sports.
Okay, I'll
he's
give you
a
Friday
very
Night
Hancock's not that bad.
Yeah, Hancock is very bad.
And he's done some of the recent ones too, like Lone Survivor. Lone Survivor is really good as well.
Yeah. My number 5.
Very Bad Things was your number.
My number 5.
Number 5. I basically, if you're going to give me an honorable, Very Bad Things was an honorable mention. Bad Teacher was an honorable mention, and Night and Day is an honorable mention for me. Number 5 though, Shrek 2. It's better than Shrek 1.
Arguably.
Yeah, so I don't really have much more to say other than I enjoyed Shrek 2. I don't,
Whoa! All right.
I know hard hitting facts given to you guys. Same voices: Mike Myers. I think
Cameron Diaz,
Peter
Eddie Murphy,
Everett was in it. Rupert Everett. Sorry, Peter. There might be a
Andrews,
Peter
maybe?
Everett out there who just got credit for something that he never did. Larry King.
Larry King.
Yeah, he plays I think the mom or the dad or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
you're right. He's a woman.
Or the
isn't he?
mom. Yeah, he's the woman.
He's
Yeah.
a woman. Yeah.
So the Shrek 2.
John Cleese.
I enjoyed it. So there we go.
Dizzle, while you're on your phone, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Bad Teacher. Not much to say.
What a riveting list we got going on here with Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz, man.
I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was cool or whatever.
Yeah, there were some funny moments in that.
It made my the way I do these is I'll put down everything that I think is potentially going to make the top 5 or 10, and then I whittle away. This got whittled away. It's the person that make my top 10.
Yeah, well, I said it was going to be an honorable mention.
My number 4, and I'm going to say we're making fun of Cameron Diaz. I think this is a pretty tight 5, and now I think it's a very tight 4. My number 4 is There's Something About Mary. These 4 was actually kind of hard to do. I would say I could switch these around to a degree. Yeah. Very funny comedy I've seen multiple times. Of course, Ben Stiller just falls in love with Cameron Diaz and finally decides to look her up years after their disastrous date to prom, I guess.
Prom night, yeah.
With funny, was it Keith David at the beginning of the film. Looks her up, hires Matt Dillon, who is probably easily the best thing I've ever seen Matt Dillon do. I like Matt Dillon, but I feel like this is the most fun he's ever had. He seems to be very kind of serious and one note lately, but Matt Dillon's great in this. Jeffrey Tambor, one of the first things I remember seeing him in. What's her name? Lynn. The roommate of Cameron Diaz is really funny as well, and she's been in a bunch of stuff like Insidious. She's very underrated and very funny as well. Chris Elliott. The only reason I know who Brett Favre is because of this movie, because I hate sports. And yeah, this thing is just so funny. It's one of the couple reasons why people still hear the Farrelly brothers and go, "Oh, let's give it a shot," because things like this really worked here, and still rewatchable to this day. Raunchy, funny. Worth checking out, and Diaz is super at the top of her peak of likability. I think going here, and you see why all these guys are just falling madly in love with her.
There's Something About Mary.
And I forgot the guy that has like the arm things, but he's very funny too.
Yeah, I can't remember her brother, the
Debbie Earl Brown.
Yeah, the mentally challenged child. Man-child, we'll call
Yeah,
him.
good acting, by the way, because Debbie Earl Brown, not at all in real life.
No.
I couldn't tell.
So
Which I always like the Farrelly brothers. If you ever notice, they do that a lot in their movies.
yeah,
So I give them props for.
I have that one up a little further.
Stuck on you.
I actually have that movie up a little further.
Spoilers.
So we'll talk about that a little later. My number 4 is The Holiday. Jack Black, Cameron Diaz, of course, Kate Winslet, and I can't remember who the other dude was in that one.
Jude Law.
There we go. So to me, that actually was probably, it should be up a little further, but as you say, a lot of these parts are interchangeable. But no, The Holiday, I do like. It's a great rom-com. Again, is my wheelhouse. So I enjoyed the romance, the comedy that comes with, and how Cameron Diaz falls in love overseas with in England with Jude Law, and Kate Winslet with Jack Black. Unlikely.
That's why I love this movie, because
It's an
it
unlikely
gives
love.
chubby guys hopes that Kate Winslet could fall in love with you.
Absolutely, and I just I just like Kate Winslet, so we're gonna have
There's the poster of the film for the 4 awesome leads.
Yeah, and so it's well worth the watch. Go out if you haven't seen it. It's got to be on demand, or if it's not, it's got to be on a streaming service near you. So,
I haven't seen it in a long time. It was my number 8 and it quite cracked my top 5, but I do enjoy this film as well. It's super likable, charming, something that I actually wouldn't mind revisiting myself.
It's almost like
sometime
Airbnb.
soon.
This was Airbnb before Airbnb happened, technically. So, but it was, but yeah, it's a house swapping story. So now we're at number 3.
Dizzle, what's your number 3, buddy?
What you got for us, boss man?
My 3 will be Very Bad Things.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Anything else you want to tell me?
You want that? What's that?
Anything you want to add to Very Bad Things? All right, Very Bad Things, number 3. My number 3, you mentioned it, actually. Oh, we actually might flip Dizzle, me and you for 5 and 3, I think, because my number 3 is Gangs of New York. Martin Scorsese, who is one of those filmmakers that... What's up?
Breaking news.
Is this your 3?
This is my 3rd.
All right.
Gangs of New York. So we're just going to talk
Get
Gangs
3
of New
out of the
York.
way. We'll talk about 2 here in a second.
Yeah.
Scorsese, who in my opinion has never made a bad film, his worst film is probably still like a 3.5 out of 5. I could be wrong. Maybe if I look back at his catalog, but this is not my favorite of his. But it's
Shutter
still,
Island wasn't that great. I think that was a Scorsese.
I like Shutter Island. I would say that's probably like a 3.5 out of 5 because even that thing looked beautiful and had some really cool moments.
Yeah.
And again, like you just look at that cast, like he got an A-list cast for that.
Yeah.
And Gangs of New York is no different. Diaz in a very serious role. She gets to show some acting chops here, with of course 2 of the I would say unarguably the greatest actors of our generation, Leonardo DiCaprio and Daniel Day-Lewis, and another guy who some people may only know him for comedy now, but John C. Reilly, and a really good supporting role as well here. So it's a film I haven't seen in a long time. I wouldn't say it's a super rewatchable one for me. And actually,
you got to buckle down and watch it because it's about a 3-hour film, if not more.
it's a long, probably
It's a
why I haven't
long
rewatched it
film.
lately.
So
Yeah.
long films are kind of hard for rewatching because you want to watch one that's about maybe 2 hours tops and get you in, get you out. That's a long film. It's a good film. Daniel Day-Lewis is unbelievable as the baddie in that film, and Cameron, I have to say, she does a great job in this one. And I think if you look at my list, she gets progressively better. I think, even though some go backwards in time, but you can still see sparks of where she could be if she wasn't Cameron Diaz. So.
Dizzle.
Anything else?
No, I think we're going number 2 now.
Okay,
Dizzle, right?
we are at number 2.
About Mary.
Dizzle's coming in with There's Something About Mary, in case you couldn't hear him as he was far away.
Something
from
About Mary. Number 2. Nothing to say. We kind of flip-flopped there.
By the way, I have Something About Mary at number 2 as well.
Wow.
So we're all flipping and flopping and bopping and dopping and how did he get above the beans and the franks is what I'm trying to say.
My number 2 has also already been discussed. I'm going to go with Shrek 2 as well. I kind of a tie between Shrek 2 and Shrek 1. I think Shrek 1 is still a very tight film as well, but I would say maybe laughs-wise, the second one might be even better. I think you can definitely argue either one, but let's go with Shrek 2, just so we're on the same page. Just a really funny sequel. It's one of I think the few times where the sequel probably has surpassed the first one, especially in the comedy range. That doesn't always happen with comedies because you always think, oh, it's just going to be a repeat, or they're going to maybe lose some of the cast. They didn't hear everyone came back. It's really fun. It's a good continuation.
I think what they did.
Of the tale.
I think that what they did was may have expanded the writing ability. Meaning they said, okay, what can we get away with from the first one, and then they said, well, you know what, we can do a little bit more because the audience probably wants more now, and that's true. You can always push it and see where the line goes, but if you think we could get ahead of it, and that's what they did in this film, and that's very rare that we see a sequel. Same with Pets 2. I thought was a more tight, even though it had 3 stories in that one, it was also a good telling of a story, and this was also had a great story behind it as well. So Shrek 2, I agree. It could. Mine was number 5, but yours is number 2. That's fine. So
what was your 2 again, real quick?
my number 2 is the same as The Aviator. There's Something About Mary. So we're beating that with a dead horse at this point. But
You want to add about Mary?
I don't know. There's something on your. There's like is that gel? Is that gel that
You want to take it and put it in your hair?
Yeah. Let me borrow some of that gel that you have it hanging. Aviator, we got number one now. We got the number one. We finally got the number one.
You know, just real quick though on that Joe joke, I was 9 when the movie came out. I don't think I got that joke at the first couple times I saw the movie.
Well, you shouldn't. You're 9. You're 9.
You're a dirty 9-year-old, Jim.
I wasn't 9.
All right, Disney, let's hear it. What's your number one Cameron Diaz film? And I hope it's not the one on the screen. Go.
The number one would have to be the one that she played with Tom Cruise, Night and Day, baby.
And there's a still from it right there.
There's a still from it. Best. That's my number one.
Wow. Want to go on? Want to explain this?
Love it.
Try to explain this to
You
me,
know, I
please.
like him. I like her. I thought they did a great job. I was thoroughly entertained.
Well,
lot of
It's a
action.
fun movie. It's maybe my number
Definitely.
11.
Yeah, it was. You know what it was? It was the bike racing scene.
The bike
Or was there a? Yeah, remember they ride a bike together. You know, where she's on the back, he's on the front, or something along those lines. I'm not even sure, to be honest with you.
This is how they.
Yeah,
film
yeah,
it.
there it is, where she straddles him and she's shooting behind him. There you go. See, I remember that scene.
I remember Paul Dano.
Who? Oh, yes, Paul Dano. I don't remember him in the movie, but I know Paul Dano, though. Thank you.
Boy, that's a pretty awesome rig. How they did that.
Well, you know, they couldn't really put Tom with Cameron on there because she wiggles a lot. She wiggles a lot, I think.
Well, following the new tradition, first our tradition was we were repeating each other. Now the new tradition is I feel like unless we agree, Jim.
We've all broken apart. I think.
Yeah, this number one is Night and Day on your list?
It was an honorable mention.
Okay, so let's see if our number ones will be nowhere on each other's list because I don't think my number one's on. It's not on Dizzle's. I don't know if it's on yours.
It's
my number
possible.
one is Being John Malkovich.
No.
All right, well then we definitely don't agree on our number ones.
Yes.
I love this film. Shame on both of you for not having this in your top fives or at least honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Wacky, fantastic film, unique, original. Her, John Malkovich, John Cusack doing fantastic. Look at Diaz right there, and being John Malkovich, unrecognizable as they say.
Well, she's always recognizable like that. That's how I see her every time. I see
Written
her.
by one of my favorite writers, Charlie Kaufman. You may know him from films like Adaptation, Synecdoche, New York, and of course, the greatest film of all time, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Directed by Spike Jonze, who did things like Where the Wild Things Are, amongst others. Oh yeah, it's like we're the same person. Here, I'll get closer, so it's like half and half.
What do we got going
Yeah,
on? What do we got going here, Wes? What's going on?
it's like half. So you know, who's Cameron Diaz? Who's Jorno? And you don't know. You just don't know.
I'm going to go with the one on my left. Is that Cameron Diaz? The one on the
Yes.
left? Oh, okay.
I think this film is fantastic. Dutch, what's your number one so we can fight about it?
Number one. Well, this would not be for you because it's a sports movie. Oliver Stone directed it, and it is If Any Given Sunday. She plays a ball buster of a boss in this one. I think this is her best acting job forever, and has Al Pacino in it.
Hoo-ah! More
Has
margaritas.
Dennis Quaid, Jamie Foxx.
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J, Matthew Modine, even Jim Brown, Lawrence Taylor, a couple real players as well.
I know who Lawrence Taylor is because he fought Bam Bam Bigelow.
Absolutely was a WrestleMania.
Who is Jim Brown?
12
95.
or something like that. Am I off? Am I off? Aaron?
11.
11.
95 after 94, which is
Came
10.
close though, didn't I?
Yeah,
see?
good.
Yeah, see? But yeah, I love this movie, not just because of her, but you know, it also had a who did I have a crush? Anne Margaret. Even an older Anne Margaret, but she's still beautiful.
She's still rocking, too.
That's what I'm saying. She's still around. She's still happening, and I loved her in Viva Las Vegas and a few other of the Elvis films. But but yeah, at the end of the day, Aaron Eckhart was also in this. Yeah. So get to watch it. It's probably one of the most more entertaining Oliver Stone films. And there's Anne Margaret with Cameron Diaz right there. And I got to tell you, both of those ladies put a hell of a performance in. So I'd say if she would have continued this track, she would have been, I think, a little bit more higher on my favorite actress list. But she kind of
I was mentioning to you before we were on air. I was looking at the list. I said I haven't seen a Diaz film since 2012 because I haven't seen like The Other Woman and Sex Tape. And I said, but nothing on my list made it past what is it? 2006.
I think
Holiday at number 8.
I think
was
Bad
my most
Teacher
recent
was the
film.
highest one. Was it 2011? I
Yeah,
think?
but that was more recent. And that didn't even
And
make
that was
my
an
personal
honorable
list.
mention. So
Yeah, that's like my number 12.
So yeah, Cameron Diaz, we salute you with our 5 very tough 5 favorite.
Why did you pull up that screenshot, Dizzle? It's the most random screenshot for you to pull
Because
up.
that's part of Any Given Sunday right there.
I know why it's, but I'm just saying, of all the
They're all on
screenshots,
roids in that show.
of all the Any Given Sunday shots,
well,
this was like, let's look at this one full
because
screen.
the guy with the do-rag, I believe, is going to be either one of 2 people, because I can't see their face. It's Jamie Foxx, I believe. I believe that's the one with the do-rag. So,
Still, my question's very valid.
but you know what? He gives us the deep cut photos. This is why we have him around, because he does.
Yeah,
So-
I thought that was interesting. So we agreed on several at the beginning, and then our number ones,
We all-
no more on our list.
We all splinter completely into
all
the
of a
shadows.
sudden, we're all just like night and day, Malkovich, Sunday. None of us agree with each other on our number ones,
No. Well, we're gonna have,
which is great. I actually think
Yes.
that's pretty great.
Yeah, because
Shows you
sometimes
the
we
eclecticness
agree.
of films.
We've
Yeah.
agreed in the past on the same things. So, but now it's time. Yeah, Anne Margaret is timeless. Let's pull up an Anne Margaret.
Welcome to
photo.
the Anne Margaret section.
This is the Anne Margaret.
She was in the breakup too, right?
I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure.
She
but,
was.
But all I could say is, put her. in your-
Gurrar.
I have her in my spank bank, and I ain't afraid to use her
Oh, dude, really?
when she comes out. And
That's horrible. Why?
I know, because I'm an ass. That's what I am.
You're a realist.
Yeah, but back in the Anne Margaret was a sugar of a woman back in the day. I could tell you, Elvis was smitten as well, but he was of course married at the time. So yeah, look at her. There's a photo of Anne Margaret right there. That's So
If I remember, I'm cutting all this out.
no, you're not cutting anything. Just let it be. But anywho.
Is this one a good?
Let me see. Yeah. That's that. I don't. Is that even? Yeah. Okay. That looks like kind of. Anne Margaret kind of reminds you of a Marilyn Monroe back in the day, doesn't she? But so let us move on from our Anne Margaret special to our news and notable stuff. It looks as if, we're going to have to cancel that news and notable special because it looks as if our man Jordan
Stop.
is.
The joke doesn't make sense anymore. Let's go.
There he is. There he is. There he is. Are you ready? I just introduced you, motherfucker. Damn. I said we're doing news and notes, man. Don't you fucking yell at me. Oh, brother. So, news and notes and other stuff is now brought to you by Jordan Owens.
News and other stuff. Is that the name of the segment?
I don't know what we're going to call it anymore. I just keep adding
Show
more
what shows
stuff.
with the news, notes, and other stuff. I'm a fan of this show. Has anyone seen Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix?
Yes.
You saw that, Dizzle?
No.
It's a really fun, eclectic show. They're short pieces, anywhere from like 12 to not even 20 minutes. Done a different kind of animation style. Some are funny, some are bloody. But that's worth checking out. It has been renewed for season 2, so I look forward to it. There's some screenshots there. If you pull up the second one on your screen with the white robot, that one's pretty funny. There's a cat involved in that one that's pretty fun, as well as 2 really funny robots. Oh, there, might even see the cat in the background. There you go.
I've never heard of this show.
Yeah, definitely. We're talking, like I said, different animation styles. That one particularly is very funny. Oh, there you go. There's those 3 robots are all very funny, and then it involves a twist with a kitty cat. And so, what more could you want in your animation?
There you go.
Glow season 3 is currently being worked on, and Gina Davis has been added to the cast, and there's some X-rated scenes from Sex, Death, and Robots. But Gina Davis, who I'm a fan of, I like Gina Davis. She's been added to what looks like to be every episode of
Really?
season 3, joining Alison Brie, Mark Maron, Bear Gilpin. So very much looking forward to Glee. Or I'm sorry, Glow. Glee.
Yeah.
Whew.
We're
Well,
in the
I
flashback
love
machine tonight, kids.
the first 2 seasons of Glow. You saw them, right?
I saw the first season. I'm halfway. I kind of got off on the second season. It's not because it's a bad show. I just got distracted with other shiny pennies, and it takes some time to get back to those shiny pennies.
Get back to those shiny pennies. It's a really great show. Are You Afraid of the Dark was been talked about as a movie that might have been put on hold. The director recently left, but it has been confirmed to be coming back to Nickelodeon as a limited series. They're going to do at least maybe 3 to 6 episodes, about an hour long, and kind of see where it goes. One of those things that pretty much it's a TV show if people like it. If it doesn't get enough ratings, well, that's because it's a limited series, kind of an alternate way of going around things instead of saying it's back. So I'm looking forward to this. This is definitely a piece of my childhood. These still get pretty scary. It's more in the line of like a Goosebumps that's meant for kids or like teenagers, really. So it's not gonna be too bloody or anything. But I really like Are You Afraid of the Dark? So I'm glad to see that's coming back. We got some new trailers out. Anyone see the Frozen 2 trailer?
No, and I never.
So you saw, you're like, let it go, let it go.
I have let it go, and I've never will ever bring it back.
So the trailer's out, and a lot of people seem to agree that it's kind of a serious trailer. If you watch the trailer, there's not a hell of a lot of fun to be had. It's just like the teaser, and it's not even that much more to the plot of what you saw in the teaser. Basically, continuing of Anna and Elsa, whose names are burned in my brain because my niece is now obsessed with Frozen. So I know I'm definitely going to see this thing. I haven't even seen the first one from beginning to end yet. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I don't really care that much. This teaser trailer didn't exactly convince me as a non-fan to go, oh, now I'm in. Yep. But, I mean, obviously it's going to make a shit ton of money, so no one cares. A couple of documentaries I want to talk about here in a second, but
what from documentaries? It must be something. Is it wrestling related?
No wrestling related, but stand-up comedy and acting.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
But first I want to talk about Three from Hell. This is the third movie from Rob Zombie. Well, not the third movie from Rob Zombie, but it's the third in kind of a trilogy because you had House of a Thousand Corpses. Then you had Devil's Rejects.
Never saw it.
And now this is Three from Hell. As you can see, there you have on your screen. That's Sherry Moon Zombie, I believe, which is Rob Zombie's wife. Don't remember that guy's name. And Sid Haig. They were in House of a Thousand Corpses. Kind of all his co-stars. They're the main focus on Devil's Rejects. I'm not a big fan of this series. I know he definitely has a huge fan base. Some people absolutely love Devil's Rejects. I believe my brother's a big fan of Devil's Rejects, featuring Diamond Dallas Page. I didn't see him in the new trailer though for Three from Hell, but Danny Trejo is also returning from this. So people are definitely excited for this, and it is a film. Well, I'm not a huge fan. It does intrigue me because he does have an interesting style. It's very gritty. It's very violent. If you're looking, again, for any kind of happiness, this is not the films to go for. But, yeah, Rob Zombie kind of returning to characters that some people really like. Finally, the two trailers here might get you a little teary-eyed. One of these. The first one is the Amazing Jonathan documentary, which is going to be on Hulu soon.
Yeah, I was interested in that. I actually heard about this.
Yeah, I just saw it. I just looked at this trailer. Actually, as Dizzle walked in and we said hi to each other, I was watching this trailer. Amazing Jonathan is a fantastic magician, comedian. Another guy that kind of not totally PG either. I've been a fan of his. As you see in the trailer, the guy's done hundreds of different kinds of TV shows. And unfortunately, a few years ago, he got sick and he had to stop. And then he was even recently announced for a new tour, which was going to come to Naples, which I was totally going to want to go to. Yeah. And then that got canceled. And what's interesting about this trailer, though, if you watch the trailer, there's hints of, is he elaborating or lying about the disease? It's definitely not your typical documentary, which is about, like, a sad story about a guy that's, dying while he still wants to perform. There's more to it. There's some drugs involved as well. So definitely an intriguing trailer. Looks like Dizzle's pulling up a little bit of the trailer right here.
Very short, very simple.
So it ends with, we'll play a little bit of the clip, but not too much.
What's your point to this? What are you saying, man?
So he's pulling it. It sounds like they're actually calling him out on it a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, we'll say it's definitely an intriguing trailer. It's not where I thought this thing was going. So I have that. The next trailer is Love and Tosha. This is a documentary about the tragically taken from us too soon, Anton Yelchin. You may know him from the recent Star Trek films. You may know him from so many things since he was a kid, up to even recently where he was really good in Thoroughbreds.
And the voice of he was the voice of the Troll Hunter by Guillermo del Toro. on Netflix.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't even know that. I never saw that show, but yeah, and then I thought
Very
he
worth
was,
watching.
he was great too. And, did we see Green Room together?
Yes, we did.
He was great in Green Room as well, the lead of that.
Because we
and
saw
yeah,
Patrick Stewart, which is crazy.
Patrick Stewart,
Crazy.
really fun film, and there's a shot there of the young Anton Yelchin, young kid, definitely one of those actors that and as a freak accident too. I mean, as they say in the trailer, like it's one of the things that just. I don't want to say it worked out perfectly because obviously that's not the right wording, but it had to, like so many different factors had to work out in a certain way in order for just the sad unnecessary reason that he passed, not due to his fault it seems like of any kind, but another actor. I think about guys like this, Heath Ledger, Philip Seymour Hoffman, of actors that. Damn, it would have been great to get another 30, 40, 50, 60 years of this kid.
Yeah.
Not even in his 30s, I believe.
We just scratched the surface.
Absolutely, just scratch the surface. I mean, like I said, not even in his 30s, and it just would have been great to see him in his 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, because he seems like a guy that was in it for the long haul. The little bit of the trailer, and I didn't know much about him in real life, but the little bit of you see in the trailer, he's wanted to do this since he was a kid. He just truly loved playing characters and acting. There's a shot from, I believe, Green Room, which he's fantastic in. Yeah. And yeah, just I got a little teary-eyed, I'm not going to lie, just because I was definitely... It was a shocking death, and then when you find out that like it was just kind of a freak accident too, it's even more sad because it's like
he was going to a reading that night,
know,
for a script. I can't remember what script it was, but he was going to go for a reading. He went down, and his emergency brake failed, and he died. Unfortunately, crazy deal. I'm going to throw a few things out
buddy.
there. Boondocks is coming back. They're going to reimagine this. They're going to reboot it. I love the original Boondocks animated cartoon. I don't know what they're going to do now. They're probably going to make it more edgy. I don't know how more edgy you can get, but they're going they're going to make it more edgy. Also,
it's not possible.
Krypton, which is a pretty decent show because I watched the first season. I haven't seen the second season. I think that's coming on or is already.
Yeah, it's just starting this week. This week, actually.
Yeah, so Krypton 2 is coming out for second season, but they're already planning a spinoff for Lobo. So. And the Lobo character of what I've seen is unbelievable. Looks just like the cartoon. So
yeah, it does. Lobo's a character that I've been looking forward to. Has been seen in a while in like a movie or something. Yeah. And from the trailers, and I haven't seen Krypton, but I kind of want to now just for Lobo.
Yeah, and so I'm excited about those. I just wanted to throw those out there for you. You got us any more?
I know what you're excited about. I got a bit more. I know what you're excited about.
What?
Kevin Hart maybe is going to be in the new Scrooge movie.
I was indifferent at first because I love my Bill Murray, but let's see what happens because he could play the same thing. So let's do it.
This is one of those movies that I think kind of is ripe for a remake to a degree. I mean, I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like, it's going to be done one way or the other.
Yeah.
There's a funny side-by-side comparison. And I think Kevin Hart's the fun kind of guy. I could see him like going through, the different ghosts and the wackiness and, some new effects being done to him. So I could see this.
So is The Rock signed up yet? Has The Rock signed up to be one of those ghosts?
That rock bottoms his ass. Ghost from Christmas Past kicking your ass.
There you go.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think what piece. We'll do some box office for and the ones that ended on June 9th. Number 5 is Rocket Man in its second week, making $13 million. Number 4, Godzilla King of the Monsters in its second week, making $15 million. Number 3, Aladdin in its third week made $24 million. And the debuting X-Men Dark Phoenix debuted at number 2, making $32 million. And the debuting Secret Life of Pets debuted at number 1, making $46 million. And that's not so great for either one of those films, too, if you want to be honest, because the first Pets movie made $104 million and is the highest grossing film of all time for original film.
Well, if you look at what they were going against, Aladdin, even though it's
in its third week though.
Yeah, but it's still got some buzz. Dark Phoenix, a lot like you and I went to watch it. We already talked about it, but the point is they had a little bit of competition to go against, and it's kind of rough, and you can't run away with it. You can't run away with this.
It's not that rough though, because just saying it. No one did all of that killer. It's not like one, X-Men ran away with it or Secret Life ran away with it. Like there was still room for someone doing better here. Yeah. There's just something here that maybe because it was the last X-Men film, not that we're that excited about it. Because even speaking of X-Men, which by the way, Secret Life of Pets made $875 million at the global box office first time around, so that's not going to happen again.
Yeah, it'll get
But
close,
this
it'll
was
get
the
close.
worst domestic opening of the X-Men franchise. It's the
Yeah.
first time an X-Men movie has not debuted at number one, which that's understandable because, again, you're going off against a paid cartoon movie. And I do think this movie, because it seemed to be played with some problems, and because it was the last one of this cast, I just don't think it had that buzz like almost every other X-Men film, even ones that weren't that great, like X-Men Origins, Wolverine. This just seemed to not have much of a buzz, and I think that's why it didn't make that much money, and it definitely signifies the end of this probably current cast of X-Men.
And it's well to it. I'm welcoming a reboot of any sort, even if you just got to dust off some of these characters. You can bring some of them back. I'm not going to say.
Well, by the time they do it, they're going to have their pick of the litter.
But they demolished their own timeline. That is the problem. They demolished the whole timeline because if you look at when the 2000 movies hit, you got Patrick Stewart and God, I just went blank on Magneto. Who was that, Sir? Ian McKellen. So that's what you get in 2000. So 92 is when this movie was set, and you have McAvoy and Fassbender, and then just 8 years down the line, you get them. It's not. It doesn't. The continuity is awful right now, and you've got to.
Oh, it is definitely all over the place. As someone said at this point, Fassbender should be like 20 years older.
Yeah, I was gonna say, everyone should be a little bit.
There wasn't much of a thought process, but here's the problem, man. It didn't diminish because of the timeline. In the end of the days, it's nerds like us that will pick apart the timeline. It diminished because of the quality of film.
Yeah.
This is a film that did not really catch the majority of the audience. I've seen some people compare this to some of the worst superhero films that have come out. I don't agree with that,
No.
but some people have thrown that out there. And this film, I've seen maybe one great review, and that was my brother. Sorry to throw him out under the bus.
I'm
I've
sorry.
seen no one else who say they love this film. The most I've seen are 2.5 and 3s.
If you want a good Dark Phoenix story, watch the X-Men animated series.
And watch it, and someone made a really good point, man. And a lot of people have made this point. It's called, what is it called? The Phoenix Saga.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think we have just proven that you can't really rush it into one film.
No.
And the fact that they even went again, it just felt like why. They didn't really have a crazy new take on the story. It felt like them just slightly doing 3 again.
Well, you know what's funny? I was reading some articles just recently about why it flopped or why it's flopping, and they're saying that if you really looked at it, the film was almost per shot. Not almost per shot, but I would say close to being like a Captain Marvel type film or an older. I think even that old Jane Grey one, X-Men 3. I think
Last
it was
Stand.
Yeah, they had the same exact ending as of Captain Marvel too, and so they had to go, oh no, we can't have the exact same ending as Captain Marvel, so they had to change the ending, they had to change a lot of stuff, and so when
they've reshot the ending.
yeah, so you have a lot of stuff that you've already had behind the. You're already behind the hole. They're just happy this movie is showing the light of day just to get it off their books as a loss. They're going to get it on as a loss possibly, but they're just happy to get it done with. They're going to be doing the same thing with New Mutants. They're going to be shoving that over the top, possibly more than anything else. So, is there anything else? Because I got one or two things really. Just
Well, I mean, you can go. Oh, I'll do one more. You do the rest, and then I got one more, and then we'll wrap it up.
yeah, I'm just going to go with the movies that are coming out this week. So I'll
I'll have that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, because this week in movies, June 14th, the movies that are coming out this weekend, if you want to go watch it, Men in Black International, Shaft, Late Night. We've done a review here from that show already, and American Woman, which will be in limited release in some areas. If you find it, it's a little different than most of the stuff that's out there.
And also, technically, Dead Don't Die as well. I think is getting more and more.
Oh yes,
expansion
I
of
forgot
a
about that.
release
Yeah.
over this next weekend. So yeah,
And you heard it here.
We'll see. I think we're going to see Men in Black probably pretty soon.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're gonna see Shaft.
maybe.
I'm gonna watch Shaft. I don't know about you, but I will.
I'm on the fence.
It looks good.
If you can dig it, mother, shut your mouth.
You can join me in Shaft, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you're damn right. If we can just look at my shirt real quick. He has been confirmed for Fast and Furious 9. John Cena, everybody, 16-time world champion. Who needs a rock when you can get John Cena?
Well, Fast and the Furious needed a wrestler of some
Yeah.
ilk, so it was either that or maybe Randy Orton. But they thought, well, let's go with John Cena because he's more free in his schedule.
And then Hulk Hogan said, "What about me, brother?"
And they said, no one feels comfortable around you.
This is a good fit. John Cena coming off of Bumblebee and Blockers, which also made a good amount of money, I think. Yeah. So I enjoy this casting. Obviously, we're big wrestling fans. Yep. Me and Dutch. There's Mr. Cena.
It's going to work, I think, because this is a great progression for him. This is a natural progression. Yeah, he's following the footsteps of The Rock, but I don't think of it as that. I think it's just a good progression for him to get into the more mainstream of films like he's been doing lately.
Well, and why not, man? He's getting older now. He has to wrestle a lot less, and he's in that ballpark of The Rock of just he's a really charming, charismatic guy that can fit in a lot of roles, whether it's an army guy that we saw on The Wall, or he's a dad wearing cargo pants, khaki shorts, and Blockers. He's done really good so far in just about anything given to him. Trainwreck. Sisters. I just watched Sisters again.
Daddy's Home.
He steals the scenes as a drug dealer. Daddy's Home, the 1 and 2. Yeah. I just think this is a smart progression, and he's also a kick-ass guy. I mean, say what you will about the Marine or 12 Rounds, but I think they're watchable because of watchable. Him. Yeah, they're watchable. Even that one, I think the reunion slightly underrated with him and Ethan Embry. So I just had to talk about my boy John Cena.
I don't mind that because John Cena is well worth talking because he is making bank.
And you know why he's great to have on your team of like action specialists, because at the end of the day, the villains. I was making a joke. Go back to me, Dizzle. Go back to me. The villains can't see him. Thank you. I had to make sure I get that joke out there.
Well, okay. Cue the crickets.
Is that a cricket?
No.
So I'm gonna. You have any more news?
No. Other than what we're gonna probably be doing next week. Just
let me finish
a few things, but not much.
We're gonna end with shows that are ending. It was announced recently that The Good Place will be ending next year, or the 2019-2020 season on season 4. I actually kind of enjoyed this because if you read the statement from the writers, they had a plan. Yeah. And luckily they're going to be able to tell now the story that they wanted to tell. They said, we never planned on this being a 10-year show. If you saw The Good Place, basically Kristen Bell's character has died and gone to heaven. But unfortunately, when she first gets there, Ted Danson starts telling her about the awesome, wonderful things she did in life. But that wasn't her. They got her mistaken for someone else, and maybe she shouldn't be in heaven. And then it continues to go on. Like, if you haven't seen the show,
you can pick it up on Netflix.
The first 2 seasons, I think, are on Netflix, so you got to watch season 3 on either Hulu or on demand, maybe. But it might be on Netflix by the time 4 gets out there. So definitely check out the other seasons because the story keeps going. It would be spoilers if I told you about 2 and 3 and that's what I like about the show is that it has continually evolved into different things. And another really fun cast there. Ted Danson is fantastic. I believe he was Emmy nominated. The guy that played is Chidi, who's going to be that. Summer Salt movie.
I'm like, I don't know.
The one he thinks is a romantic comedy.
Oh, that one. I can't remember that movie, but it looks like a very romantic film.
You got other things that have been announced that are ending too. For those unaware, the shows that are ending: Modern Family is coming to an end. Criminal Minds, Empire. Is it because of that one guy?
Well, no, they just wrote him out completely.
Okay, I just wondered if they were like, we got to kill the show now.
Yeah.
Blind Spot, Arrow, and Supernatural.
And by the way, Blind
will all
Spot
be coming to an end.
Blind Spot should have ended about a season ago, because I tried to watch it this season and it was a train wreck. I mean, literally. And I don't know what they were going, what their game plan is. So I've left it. I've jettisoned it really fast. Supernatural, thank God, is going to an end. It's a lot of Supernatural fans are out there. I understand they're sad to see it go, but it was on for 15, 16 seasons or something like that.
Something around that. Yeah,
it's been
a very surprisingly long time. Yeah, like a lot of shows, hour-long show with demons and special effects. So good for them. I mean, definitely lasted longer than anyone could have guessed.
Yeah, as I said, ride the train until it stops. And so those are 2 that are I'm glad to see go. Arrow, I'm happy as well to see go, because they've done as much as they possibly could with that.
I've heard that's ready to end. From the most part, a lot of people, it's a show that started off how that I think people are going, the writing's on the wall.
How's this though? I've known people who've tried to come back to it. I've watched it steadily up to this season because I can't get it on the CW app, and I just don't like commercials, so I'm waiting for it to hit on Netflix later.
Screw commercials. commercials.
But,
I've gotten so spoiled.
Yeah. And so I'm like, at the end of the day, let it go.
Let it go.
There's my Frozen reference for you for this for that segment. But yeah, I'm waiting for it to go, and so is America, and we'll be happy with that. So anything else that you got for me? Any bright spots?
I have not been confirmed for Fast and Furious 9. I'm still in negotiations, but besides that, no, I'm good to go,
because
baby.
I was up for the same part, so I'm thinking hopefully they're gonna skew older for the fat obnoxious dude. At
It's
the bar.
Hollywood, baby. You know they're going young and fat.
Yeah, fat and obnoxious. So a guy at the bar. That's what we're gonna be, because we're gonna hit on
The dude who the villain
Rosario
kills in
Dawson.
2 minutes.
I think we hit on Rosario Dawson, and the next thing you know, Vin Diesel, the 4-foot wonder, comes in and slams our head or something like that on the
Rosario
bar.
Dawson,
Yeah, is that who's that?
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah,
actually
you didn't
watched
know
one of
Rosario
those
Dawson
shows.
was going to be in this one? No, you didn't know, did you? See, I read the script. They gave me the script. But anyway, yeah, I'm bad. Michelle Rodriguez, I guess. God, I'd rather have Rosario Dawson. Anyway, what? I'm not a very big fan of Michelle Rodriguez. I'm sorry. Gosh, I like Rosario Dawson. We want more of her. We love her.
I do love motherfucker. I do love Rosario Dawson.
But yeah, so anyway, next week though, I just want to plug a couple things. We're going to actually talk about probably the what we're going to watch, Men in Black, International, and The Shaft movie.
It's just Shaft up the Shaft.
I know.
If you're watching The Shaft, you're watching a porn.
You watch. By the way, 5 stars for that one, and I ain't talking snows on that one. Snowflakes, that'll melt you. No, 10 Netflix originals that you must see. Not the top 10, just 10 that you've got to see no matter what. Okay.
I mean, not the top. It is the top 10.
No,
then.
it's not top 10. You don't have to have them in any particular order.
Oh, I hate when you do this. All right,
because
fine.
it's just 10 shows, 10 movies, or whatever you got. Give me 10 items. And that's what we got.
next week?
That's next week. 10 original
What
Netflix
I need you to
items.
do is click on the like button, baby, and send us some love.
Hit that subscribe button,
Hit
baby.
that subscribe button. And
5-star review on iTunes.
on iTunes, where are we at? We're located on what service?
We're on YouTube. at the
YouTube,
moment.
that's it.
We haven't gone
We're
any
on
further.
YouTube. All right. And I guess the Netflix show has not been officially
Greenlit.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're still
we're-
going into discussions. I'm trying to replace Dutch with Seth Green.
I've been trying to replace him with you. So one of us has got to go.
Dizzle, played by Matthew Perry.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for watching. We love you
Love you
very much.
so much.
I'm already missing him.
I'm missing him too. I want to
I'm
watch
not
that
missing-
documentary. Anatolia? Or what's
Yeah, Love and Tosha. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
There we go. That one, yeah, I'm looking forward to both documentary. I'll finally watch a documentary on Hulu for once.
Well,
Yeah.
you're gonna watch 3 because Buena Vista Social Club.
I'm going to lie and say I watched it and just give it 3
Because Buena
stars.
Vista Social Club has got to be high on that list for Deja Vu.
Deja vu.
Deja vu, baby.
This is the only time that he's
Deja-
ever hated the segment of Deja Vu. I gotta
Deja
watch a
Vu.
documentary. What the hell?
Deja vu, baby. Deja vu. I love
I'm going to watch Wild Wild West instead.
Okay, tell us how that goes.
Wiki Wah Wah. Wiki Wah Wah West.
Wiki. Hey, we need spiders. in
Wild
this
Wild
film.
West.
Big
The best.
mechanical
Desperado.
spiders.
But you don't want none of this.
By the way, hey,
None of
you want to know a funny little note about that? Whenever
Kevin Smith?
when Kevin Smith was writing, it's the same producer.
Yeah.
You wanted spiders
Spider-Man,
in Superman, so he got spiders in Wild Wild West. Unbelievable. People in their crazy.
Yeah, he was writing
ass.
Superman. He wanted a big giant spider.
Yeah.
And that film didn't get made. He said, and then years later, I was watching Wild Wild West and I went, a giant spider.
He got his spider.
fucking
He got
giant
his big.
spider.
He got his big ass spider in that film. So, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
All right, stop recording. We're good.
All right.
But also,